Hey Tom, how's it going?
It's going well. What's up, Amy?
I have a dilemma.
Alright, what's up?
Okay, so Becky really likes John, but Sandra told her that Robert said John may like Lucy, who Robert hates. And John really doesn't like Laura, who is close with Sarah, Tara, and Susan. But Becky is friends with Susan. How can Becky win over John?
Alright, you're gonna have to run that by me one more time.
Okay.
Alright, ready?
I'm ready.
Go.
So Becky really likes John. But, Sandra told her that Robert said John may like Lucy, who Robert hates. Like, he totally hates. And John really doesn't like Laura, who is close with Sarah, Laura, and Susan. But Becky is friends with Susan. So how can, Becky win over John?
So, we can help Becky win over John by using this network based on what you just told me. So first, let's start down here. You see how Susan, Sarah, Tara, and Laura are all connected? This makes a cluster. Now, clusters can form based on transitivity, homophony, and influence. And what that implies is that these four friends are very similar to each other and influence each other's personalities. If John doesn't like Laura, odds are John's not going to like anyone else in this cluster. So Becky needs to not be in this cluster. I would recommend Becky makes this tie between her and Susan as weak as possible. Try having her hang out with Susan less. Now, we also need Becky to start hanging out with John. Let's try forming a cluster up here. You see how Becky is friends with Sandra, who's friends with Robert? If Becky, Sandra, and Robert start hanging out a lot, we might see the transitivity property, and Becky and Robert could become friends. Now just note that Becky went from being 3 nodes away from John to just 2. Finally, if Becky and Robert are friends and Robert and John are friends, using the same logic, Becky and John could be friends. Now we just formed a cluster up here between these 4, where Becky and John are only 1 node away from each other. Hopefully this will allow Becky to become better friends with John, and maybe John will start liking Becky.
Wow, thank you, Tom. That was really helpful.
You're welcome.